Hey you guys, what's up? Okay, so in the last class we did a twisted side arc or a twisted cat, and today we're going to work into a back cat. And this is a fun little dynamic space that we can move into a deeper stretch through the side body and even into the opening of the belly. Now, it is a little bit more of a fun pose, maybe even I will call it a little bit more of a leveled up pose that I teach some of my stronger students. So I'll give two variations. So the first is from the knees. And if you've been finding it a little bit more challenging up here, then this is going to be the space that you're going to come from. You're going to be on the knees, and we're going to slide the hips. So I guess I'll start it off. I'll teach it totally. Okay, so the hands are as wide as the mat and ahead of the shoulders. Elbows externally rotate forward and wide so that the elbow eyes face inwards towards each other. We're going to push into the mat, and you'll notice that your armpits will hollow upwards when you do that, and you get that full expansion through the back of your shoulder blades. Okay, the chin is lifted, reaching the crown forward. Slide your hips back, knees press wide, connect into your butt. Take a couple pulses forward and back. The top of the foot presses down and drags back towards the knee to help inspire the butt to move back and wide. Yeah, belly stays long. As we pull the heart forward, we push into the ground to broaden through the back. Okay. Slide your hips way back. Peel the right knee open to the side, place your paw to the mat, and kickstand the left foot out just a little bit. Hips slide back and wide, rise into the right side. If we're moving into a back cat, we're going to sit the hips back, lift the right foot up, and place it behind the left ankle. The toes tuck, sit back, sit wide, and take a stretch. Reach into the right side. Hips sit back, keep the belly long. And then stretch, open. Option to connect into a bind, right hand to left forearm. Makes it a lot tighter through the right side, so be mindful. Sit back, soft belly, and rise into the right side. From the other direction, with our cool curvy alignment, we're going to slide the hips back, keep the belly nice and long, and then peel open the left knee, place the paw to the mat. Kickstand the right foot out just a little bit. Root the hips wide, rise into the left side. Sit back, soft belly, arc, lift up and over. As we move into back cat, you're going to sit the hips back, pick up your left foot, and place the foot behind the right ankle. Slide the hips back and lift into your side arc. Left arm can reach, stretch into the side, stretch into the belly, hips sit back, and then stretch. Option bind, left hand to right forearm. Working into the spiral of the ribs, we'll get to that when you come to more classes. Okay, so that would be a more accessible back cat. It's definitely a more challenging space, but we're going to try it with the hands and feet variation, which is one of my very favorite spaces to go into. But it's strong, so just being aware that it's strong and being gentle with yourself. Okay, so hands as wide as the mat, knees underneath of the hips. Press into the ground, fill through the rib cage. Slide the hips back, knees press wide. Tuck your toes and lift up into hands and feet. The feet as wide as your hips or as wide as the mat. We'll bend into the knees, root the hips high and wide. Paws press down and out to the side. Knees resist into alignment with the ankles. You should feel the back line of your leg all the way into your bum fire up. Okay, externally rotate the left hand, toes and knees twist to the right. Bend the knees forward, root the hips back and rise into the right side. Knees forward, hips back, open into the right side. Option to connect into a bind, right hand to left forearm. Knees forward, hips back, spiral. We want to keep the left groin rooting back as we open into the right side. Okay, hold the bind or not. Right foot slides behind. Pivot the left toes up towards the top right corner of the mat just a little bit. Allow the knees to bend wide, root the hips back, and then lift into the right side, back cat. If you have the bind, knees wide, hips back, open, rise, lift into the right side. Knees wide, hips back, stretch, open. Knees wide, hips root back towards the left side, big stretch. And come back to a neutral space, little shift of your hips, soften. Bend your knees, root your hips high and wide. Externally rotate right hand, toes and knees twist to the left side. The knees bend forward, the hips root wide. Lift like a rainbow into the left side. Right ear draws towards right shoulder and find your pulse. Knees forward, hips back. Allow the belly to soften as you rise into the left side. Option to connect into a bind. Left hand to right forearm. Here we bend the knees, root the hips, and spiral the ribs. Think about really tacking back the right groin as you open into the left side body. Okay, hold the bind or not. Left foot slides behind. The right toes pivot to face the top left corner of the mat. Bend the knees wide, root the hips high towards the right side, and then open. Knees bend, hips root, little twist, spiral open. This could kind of be like a wild thing. Okay. Come back to a neutral space. Lower the knees down. And that is back cat. Back cat will begin to evolve. So it starts to spin the heart up towards the sky. But there's so much intricate detail to keep this pose of integrity. It's why I will usually suggest people connect into a bind. It's so that they can really work to open with the spiral of their ribs. But it is a little bit more of a advanced pose. I wanted to put it in here because it's one of my favorite. But if it's not where you're at right now, don't worry about it. It takes practice, 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 practice. You'll build the strength and the opening through the ribs for it to feel like one of your favorite things, just like me. Okay, I love you.